Today's story is very short. It's one sentence. The title is Life. A cicada lives for a week. One day of a cicada's life then equals 1 decade of a human life. Okay, I will read it again. A cicada lives for a week. Sorry, I have a little eyesight problem. A cicada lives for a week. 1 day of a cicada's life then equals 1 decade of a human life. Human wisdom is limited. Yeah, even though we have very advanced sensitivity, the eyesight, and hearing, smelling, all the senses we have, and we have good senses, but still our wisdom is very much limited. So there's something we can't see, something we can't hear, we cannot taste, or we cannot feel, and something we can't recognize. There's a ceiling and a limitation, there's a cap. Sometimes something is in front of us, but we don't see it. That's really strange and mysterious. It's because it's in our blind spot. Something so clear to other person, we cannot see it. Yeah, it's really mysterious. So we should understand our limitation. This should be our grand premise. And then we can be humble. We don't put too much trust in our cognition or our capability, generally speaking, in our wisdom. So understanding this limitation is kind of a first step on our spiritual journey. And how can we overcome our limitation of cognition? One way is making comparison and making contrast. That's how we can understand something more deeply. We know human life is short and our time is limited, but the feeling we have in our day-to-day lives is like, looks like I don't die. Or maybe a death might happen in the far distant into the future, but looks like I have so much time. This looks like in the farthest distance, it's like a far end of eternity. This is a grave misunderstanding. So by making a comparison, we can understand for the first time the brevity of our human life. So when we understand how short cicada's life is, we get startled. Wow, a cicada lives only for a week? How short it is. Sometimes, we shouldn't, there is another insect, which is mayfly. Mayfly live only one day, less than one day, several hours, I heard. That's very short life. And on the other side of the spectrum, there is a very old cypress tree in an isolated island of Japan. The life of this cypress tree is almost 7,000 years. Compared with 7,000 years of life, 80 years or 100 years of human life is so short. And one day of a cicada's life then equals 1 decade of a human life. Still difficult to understand. We have to calculate a little bit. But just understanding the cicada's life, and we realize how short its life, their lives are, we wonder what's the purpose of their lives. When we realize the brevity of our life, for the first time, we have to question what's the purpose of it all. It's the same when actually Buddha has eternal life. From Buddha's perspective, human life of 100 years is so short. So Buddha asks us, what's your purpose? Your life is so short, only 100 years. 100 years is very short from Buddha's perspective. And then we should sometimes have such perspective. Even 100 years pass so quickly. If you are in your, let's say, 40s or 50s, looking back on your life, do you think 50 years passed so slowly or so quickly? In my case, 50 some years passed so quickly. Yeah, so this short one sentence makes us wonder what is the purpose of our life. So this is a very important and essential question. Let's ponder on this koan philosophical question. Okay, that's all for today's meditation, meditation practice. Good job, everyone. Have a good evening. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.